Yeah, and that's the only way we grow is if we think about why we're saying what we're saying.
Why are you saying what you're saying?
Yeah, and to me, that's what's important. I mean, like, with the whole Kanye thing, that's the problem with those narratives when it happens in media. It's like media will take the most divisive narrative there is, and the whole intent is that, well, people are going to buy whatever gets the most clicks, it gets the most buys, but also people aren't going to read beyond whatever we sell it as. It just becomes that.
Exactly.
So it becomes Kanye's crazy.
Right.
And to where even people with a balanced perspective will end up, chalking it up to, well, maybe he should get on his meds. You don't know Kanye, though. You don't even know that guy. How can you say that about someone you don't know?
You don't even know.
You've been sold the narrative that he's a guy who needs his meds. I bet if you sat down with him and talked with him for 3 or 4 hours, you'd be like, wow, that's actually a really cool dude. I don't even see anything wrong with that guy. But we don't even, if you get something framed like this, and then you enter the Kanye conversation like that, and you're not someone who's super into thinking everything beyond the way that it's told to them, you will just go with that, and then it becomes, that's most people. Sadly, that is the truth. It's most people, because you see it happen. Kanye's not crazy. Kanye is a very enlightened person. He said so many things that have just that have allowed me to look at the world in different ways. Beyond his music, just things that he said, because he has that perspective, and that's what makes him a beautiful soul. That's what feeds into the art. And it's like we want this piece of the puzzle and not the rest of it. We only want the good part and not the bad parts.
Humans only like truth when it benefits them. Yeah. Whenever it benefits their agenda. Whenever it benefits, because it's like, I've had Kanye conversations with people, and it's funny. This is the first time I normally try to stray away from talking about other entertainers on record or whatever, but I just think this is a good conversation. You know what I'm saying?
In terms of mental health, I think it's important.
Absolutely, and just perspective and questioning why people think the way they think. So, Kanye is just our example to get us to talk about bigger things, or a broader topic, I should say, right? So I look at it like this. Like when having conversations, and I think he's a good conversation point, because I normally, if I really want to know how somebody, like if I want to gauge somebody's like character, talk to him about like religion, politics, or Kanye West, and you're gonna figure out who you're dealing with. But it's like, it's funny to me, you
know, litmus test,
right? Yeah. I feel like people say, dude, it's crazy, but I was a Kanye fan from the jump, right? Since when Kanye West was just a name in the production credits on the Blueprint or the Beanie Siegel album, right? Like, I was a fan since way back then, right? So, okay, I remember when Kanye was on that the thing for Hurricane Katrina, right?
George Bush
doesn't care about black people.
Yeah.
Was he crazy then? You know what I'm saying? Okay, okay, but no, I remember, and I'm just keeping it real, I remember especially black folks was, yeah, Kanye. It's like, well, the same energy that made him speak that truth is the same energy that makes him speak the things that he's speaking now. It's just you don't like the truth his truth that he's speaking right now. You dig what I'm saying? It's like, it's the same person. So when people start saying, he changed, it's like, nah, Kanye was pretty much that. I remember watching interviews when College Dropout first came out, and he was the same. I'm going to be the greatest in the world. I'm going to sell this and that. It's like, no, he didn't just wake up and, no, he's been consistently that the whole time. So it's like, the only thing that changed is that he's speaking a truth, or his version of a truth, that you don't particularly either agree with, understand, or want to get on board with. But to start calling people crazy, I remember seeing a Dave Chappelle interview where he said it's the worst thing you can call somebody, because that's dismissive. It totally undermines this person having a perspective, because now they're just crazy. Well, it's like, how could this person be sane the rest of the time? How was this person sane enough to plan these big multi-million-dollar tours? So he wasn't crazy when he was in these board meetings where these people was giving him millions of dollars to go on tour. So where was crazy at when this was happening? Where was crazy at when we was all going to see the Dark Twisted Fantasy tour and the Glow in the Dark tour? Where was crazy at all this time? So you mean to tell me he just woke up one day crazy? So it's like, we have to look at ourselves and we have to question, we have to stop being lazy with our own willingness to investigate the things that we say to each other and about each other. Go a step further. Investigate why you're saying what you're saying. Don't just take, if I say hot Cheetos are good, question me on it. Go eat them yourself and see.
Because think about it, if you're the guy who doesn't like hot Cheetos, you immediately like, what the fuck do you like about hot Cheetos?
Right.
You're gonna ask.
And make sure you have supporting statements,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, to debate me on hot Cheetos. But what I find in today's day and age, people just saying shit. Don't nobody have the supporting argument against hot Cheetos. So if I'm sitting there like hot Cheetos is
got a
the
wrestling
shit,
promo on it right now if you want.
please do. We need
I'll go
it.
in on those hot Cheetos.
Man, but to make a long story short, I just think people need to stop being lazy with what they consider knowledge and information. If you hear something and it piques your interest, take a step further to research why whoever you heard say it, where'd they get it from? And then where'd they get it from? And then go down. I just think people mentally become lazy. Oh, I heard enough. I seen somebody say it one time. That's good enough for me. And then they go and pass this shit off like it's like factual. And one thing about my zodiac sign as well, when I research it, it says 9 times out of 10, an Aries won't say anything at all before we offer false information. If we don't know it to be true, like we'll call it out, just like earlier in our conversation when I said something and I can't remember what it was, but I said, yo, fact check me on that. Because
which was, you were right, by the way. I did look it up and you were right. We were talking about Full Sail University with FCW.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
in NXT and FCW. Yeah. So, yes, right. So, Aries, we don't talk unless we know what we're saying is the truth. Because we don't like looking foolish. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to look crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So, if I don't know something to be factual, then I'll preface the statement by saying that first, that, you know, don't quote me on this or something like that. But I just encourage people, if you hear some shit, go research. Stop being lazy.
And that's how we know that Kanye West is not an Aries. He is a Gemini. Yes.
Yep.
So I think a lot of it goes back to how we started this whole conversation, too, about defining terms. Mm-hmm. Because the problem isn't what Kanye said. It's that we don't know what he meant. Mm-hmm. He has this way of speaking. It's a stream of consciousness where that's what makes him great, but it's a lot. Mm-hmm. And so you need to get clarification on certain things. And if you're the guy, if I had Kanye sitting across from me right now, my job is simply to just interject and make sense of things every now and then because he's a stream of consciousness.
You ever seen the movie Sausage Party? It's a Seth Rogen movie. It's an animated movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's
with
a
the
hot
douchebag.
Dog. Yeah, what was it a douchebag? He was a hot dog.
What got me was the antagonist of the film was an actual douchebag.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Voiced by Nick Kroll.
Yes.
Yeah.
My man. So the thing about it is, when I think about that movie, do you remember that scene where Seth Rogen's character gets on the PA system in the grocery store and he's like, yo, no, you don't want to leave the grocery store. This is what really happens. It's all some bullshit, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that Kanye West is the hot dog and sausage party, pause. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what he does. Whatever information he's getting and however he's viewing the truth, and as a Gemini, he's getting on the PA and be like, yo, this is what's going on. And because humans we all communicate different, right? So you got some people who focus more on the tone in which you're saying something. Then you have people who focus on specifically the words that you're saying. Then you have people that look at physically your facial expression and your eyes to see if you're telling the truth or not. So everybody's paying attention to different things and communicating, right? So now let's take Kanye West, who's communicating in one very specific way.
Yeah.
So now all of the people who focus on tone, they miss his message because I wish he wouldn't scream so loud. But then you're like, but did you hear what he said though? Well, if he wasn't screaming, I would have listened to him. Then you have the people over here. They're like, why you gotta be so animated when you say what he say? Then you're like, but did you hear what he said though? I can't take him serious because you have all these people who are distracted on the different parts of communication, so they miss the message because the communication is not coming to them in the way that they're used to receiving it or to where they can properly receive it. So it's like, Kanye could be telling the truth all day long, but it's because he has a very brash way of communicating that it's rubbing people the wrong way to where they miss the truths within what he's saying.
Yeah, and I think it becomes a reflection. It becomes a mirror. That's what's so genius about what he does to me. It's meta within itself because the fact that he does it proves what he says.
Exactly, agreed.
Because he's saying you guys won't listen to me, and then they don't listen to him.
Exactly.
Nobody gonna take it away. I swear no one can tell no explaining.